Welcome to West Highland Shop, where old tools get a second life, vintage machines find their spark again, and a bit of sawdust keeps the stories alive.
Hey, welcome back to the shop. This week's video, we're going to be working on this Williams H51 3/4 inch super ratchet. I think it's in good shape. I'm hoping I can get it apart because right now it really doesn't work. Found this a few weeks ago at an estate sale auction. So if you saw that video, you saw me find this. All right, let's get started on it. Okay, like I said a moment ago, this is Williams, made in USA. It's 19 inches long, weighs 5 pounds, 12 ounces. It's a 3/4 inch, model H51, the super ratchet. This really doesn't move. I got it to move the other day when I first got it, but now I can't get it to move at all. And it's locked up. So I can tell somebody's been in here before. Some previous owners' names stamped in here, initials here. I thought, and right here. So we're going to get this thing cleaned up best we can and see if we can get it like a user and may even do some polishing on it. Fits pretty good. You probably can't hear it, but it sounds so gritty. All right, let's look at the gear. All the teeth are there. Looks like 24 teeth. So yeah, it's just a lot of rust and stuff in here. So this should clean up fine. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to get this piece out, but I imagine there's a spring or a ball underneath there. So I'm actually going to do a little research, see if I can find a patent drawing or something on this thing. Okay, I cheated. I just went to YouTube and watched SnapRing Chronicals, which, by the way, if you guys haven't seen his channel, he's really good at these things. But anyway, he did this exact wrench. I'll actually put a link to his video in my video description. So if you want to watch that, you can. But he showed how to get this out. I don't know if it's going to work on this one because it's pretty grimy. But let me see if I can move the camera a little bit and show you. There's a hole in the top of this. That holds the pin. And the pin goes through the pawl mechanism, and in this post here, the pin goes down through that way, and that's what holds it all together. But I've got to be able to get this thing turned a little bit. It was at this point where I lost all my audio and had turned the camera off. I think a battery died, but you can see that I got the pawl turned. So the hole was at the top and the pin, it came right out. The next thing is to get the switch off, and once I got it loosened up, it came right off. And the pin from the other side, you can see how it just slides down in there. And the holes line up and the pin captures everything together. And there was a ball down in there and a spring that I just pull out with my little pick here. And here I've got all the pieces laid out. Gonna get them in the ultrasonic cleaner and get as much of the stuff off as I can, and then I'll start derusting. And this is after the ultrasonic cleaner. It did a really good job, got most of the old dried up grease and dirt out of there, and gonna have to do a little hand cleaning. And then this is the biggest problem. The switch had been broken. Somebody probably hit it with a hammer, received a lot of damage. So I've got to reprofile that and make it look decent. I'll start by just getting it clamped up in my vise and getting some files on it. I'll speed it up here a little, and you can just see that rough casting where it was broken just kind of disappear, and I'll move it around different positions in the vise to make sure I'm getting it even and just keep checking it. Then I took it to the sandblaster just to clean it up so I could get a nice even finish and see what it was looking like. And then I had some mushrooming on the edge here and just worked that down with a round file and just kept working it until I got it where I want it. Then I'll take it over to the belt sander and start cleaning it up and then do a bunch of hand sanding on it. So I'll just put a little music on and let you enjoy the rest of this. Just go without sound here for less than a minute. Progress is going pretty good. Trying to get all these old owner stamps out. He stamped this really deep, and then on this end, he really stamped it deep. But it's cleaning up okay. You know, that's kind of what the whole wrench looked like there. So I got a little more work to do, but we're getting there. Okay, that's working much better. So I'm just finishing up with a 400 grit here. I'm gonna go 8, 12. I don't know if I have anything between 12 and 2,000, but I'm definitely going to at least 2,000. Starting to see what the finish is gonna look like. It's looking pretty good. It's really important when you're wet sanding like this to clean it really good before you move to the next grit. You don't want any of that slurry from the old grit still on there, because it could cause scratches that you miss. All right, the polishing is not quite done, but I'm close. I'm going to finish taking care of the inside of this here before I finish the polishing. So this is going to get painted, but I do want to get it cleaned up a little bit. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I got some bad shadows in here. It's getting late in the day. All right, I'll get this side done and then we'll get some paint on it. All right, I'm gonna get some black paint here, and I'm using my one-shot sign painter's paint. And I'm gonna do my best to keep it off the lettering, but I can always come back and clean that off too. I'm gonna get a pretty thick coat in here. All right, I'm ready to get it put back together. I mentioned earlier in the video that I did watch a video from SnapRing Chronicals to figure out how to get this apart. I did not watch his video on how to put it back together, but it should be pretty simple reverse order. I'm just gonna get some 3-in-1 oil in here. I'm not putting a lot of grease in it. It's not gonna be a user. Let's see, I've got this tool, this little dental tool with kind of a curved end on it. I'm going to use this to hold the ball, hopefully, in there. All right, now you can see the ball in there, but I've got to get this thing turned so that these ends of the pawls are facing this way to get the pin back in. Like that, but now I've got to hold it or it's going to come flying out. I've got those holes there I've got to get lined up. That should hold it in place. I'll get this pin put back in, and hopefully my holes line up. Oh, perfect. Now all I've got to do is pop this over. Here we go. Oh no, I went the wrong way. Boy, I'm in trouble now. That's real trouble right there, y'all. So what I did was I accidentally turned this the wrong way. So instead of the one ear that the ball rolls over, it went into the slot where the teeth go. And I'm lucky that it moved. So I've got this on backwards. See, the pin comes out pretty easy. And it's nice that it fits loose, but when it's in there turned sideways, it's captured so it can't go anywhere. There. Not that big of a deal. Get a little more oil in there. All right, so now I'll just pry it this way this time. Drop this in place. It's unfortunate that someone really went after this the same way I got it off, but they just didn't take as much care. Just for a finish up here, I put an old Blackhawk 3/4 inch socket on here. Just thought I'd show you how well it works. Where before this wouldn't even really turn. Really nice. This is a little more difficult to turn because if you remember, this piece was had been broken off, so this should stick out a lot further, a place to really get your thumb on. It does turn, it's just not quite as easy. But there it is in the other direction. Well, there it is, my Williams H51 Superratchet. Sorry, but I keep getting my fingerprints all over it. On this high polish finish, they just show up. But the paint job came out really nice. I was really happy with that. There's the other side. I just thought putting a little bit of color in it would dress it up a little. And the metal polishing came out pretty good. Again, my finger, I've got flits on my hands, and you can see it just shows every fingerprint. Again, it works really good. I'm not going to put the socket back on there, but really happy with how well it works. It's very tight. Unfortunately, there wasn't a whole lot I could do about that. Really couldn't fix that up. And there's just some minor remnants right there of the other owner's marks. Those are too deep. I didn't want to get those out. But other than that, I got pretty much all the other defects out of it. Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed it. Well, thanks for hanging around to the end for the Williams Superratchet. This was a fun project, and I think this thing came out pretty awesome. It's going to go great on display in my shop. And yeah, so it was a challenge. There's several things I had to redo. I ended up having to redo a lot of the sanding. This paint, I ended up having to redo it twice because the first time I painted it, I tried to put clear coat on it and went too fast. Didn't let the paint dry hard enough, and it bubbled up on me. So this doesn't have clear coat on it. It'll get it in a few days. Also, I want to say thanks for everybody who subscribes to my channel and watches and comments. I really appreciate it. My channel's kind of had a little bit of a mini explosion lately, and it's just awesome. I'm over 5,000 subscribers, Didn't think I'd ever get there. So thank y'all very much. We'll see you back here in 2 or 3 weeks on the next one.